Yeah, muted. No audio. No audio.
That should work now, folks.
There we go. I'm like, is it me or is it him?
Well, Mary, thank you. Thankfully, I brought you on, which is great. Otherwise, there would have been no sound whatsoever. So welcome, one and all, to the Merry Monday Mail Call Show. It is my great pleasure to be with you, speaking to you live, as opposed to being muted and not being able to, for you to be able to. So welcome to the show, everyone.
I don't think that's the first time we've done that either.
Really? I don't believe you.
I think that might be the second or the third time.
Oh, I have to check it. Anyway, it's great to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
May have to cut that when we start and just go. Well, it's lovely to have you. As I say, it's a pub, as I said, but no one could hear me. It's public holiday here in Australia, so we are enjoying a day off. And so you've been able to join me, so it's great. Always a pleasure to have you on, sir. You do know, do you know?
Oh, now he's dropped himself off. So yes, it is Australia Day today. He may have lost internet. I don't know whether he might cut this stream altogether and maybe just start fresh. Nothing like technical difficulties. Yes. Yeah, it is Australia Day today. Whether you celebrate it or not, it is part of our nation. It is January 26th. It's Monday, obviously, for us over here in Australia. So hopefully Dave will be here soon. I have not slept much, but I am here anyway. So, yeah, hopefully Dave will be back soon so we can get into the show. Promite or Vegemite? Well, Vegemite. Vegemite's Australian. Promite is like, yeah, don't even go there. I actually would have thought you would have said Marmite or Vegemite, but that's UK versus Australia. I'm assuming Dave will probably do this, but we'll get into the chat and we'll say hello. Here he comes. Okay, so we've got one camera on. Now we're just waiting to see whether he actually comes back. There we go. Make sure you're muted again. Turn your audio on. Nah.
That's it now.
There we go.
Don't know what happened there. Camera just completely... The whole thing.
Start again.
The whole thing. We have to start again. Exactly. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Merry Monday Mail Call Show. This is normally a very, very good stream that doesn't have any technical difficulties. Anyway, welcome to the show. How you doing, Spidey? Great to see you, mate. Great to see you.
I've done all the Australia Day talk, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You can. Okay. I was about to say hello to people in the chat, so you can get to that.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that's a great call, sir. So we'll start off. Will's here. Boggs is in the house. Great to see you, mate. Of course you're here. Derek Hammontree's here too. Hello, Derek. How are you? Hank Wagner's here. Looking forward to the books coming to you live from snowy northwestern New Jersey. It's not fit for man nor beast out there today. Just ask me or my dog. Oh,
I've been hearing a lot of stories, obviously, with my stream yesterday. It's like across nearly most of the country. So
wow. Muted, obviously. Thank you for doing that and letting us know. Welcome to the show. Hank Wagner's still there. Derek. Let me just see if Haratan's still here. Promite or Vegemite? I'm assuming. Did you? For me, it's Vegemite.
I did answer that question. I said you don't even compare the two.
Yes. Jellied eel or Moreton Bay bugs for sure. Obviously.
Neither am I.
They're beautiful.
I'm not a big seafood person.
And Captain UK, is this your first live? No, you would think so though, wouldn't you? From the debacle there. Yes. So I had for some reason my laptop decided to reassign the microphone, which is why we were locked at the beginning. And then literally, as we were talking, the whole screen here, everything went off. Like the camera went off, everything went off. I had no idea.
I was literally on the big screen all on my own, and I just kept waffling on and just.
Oh, you're good.
As they say, the show must go on.
Show must go on. Anyway, mate, I brought a whole bunch of. So it's funny. These in America, right? And what do you call? What would you call something like this?
So I would, to me, looking at that at face value, it looks like a novel.
A novel, right? Or a paperback, right?
Yeah, paperback novel. Yeah,
Like,
I suppose pocketbook in the title description is a very apt name as well.
Yes. So pocketbook is I've never called it a pocketbook. It's always been a paperback in my lexicon, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a whole bunch of these that I've been finding. I've been collecting these over the last few months and weeks. And find them fascinating as little snapshots of, particularly Marvel did them. So I thought I'd share it with everyone. And
if I actually had known. Now the question is, are these the ones that are literally like a comic book inside with all the pictures, or are these a written novel type?
Well, that's part of the charm.
Because I actually have some of the older ones floating around somewhere.
Right,
that are
the older ones
actually like written novel sort of thing.
Yep. Well, we'll go into that. I've got a whole host of them actually because there's a number of different types. So let me bring up the camera.
Digest size. Yeah, that's not too bad a description as well.
Let's have a look here. Digest size. Yes.
Yeah, like the old Reader's Digest stuff.
Yeah. So let's get us started, right? So the book that realistically I think started this off for me. It wasn't those actually. I'm going to move those out of the way for the time being because they'll come later. It was these. These were the first that I started to pick up. These are essentially little. I'm going to try and zoom in actually because it's going to be.
Just don't cut yourself off again.
No. There you go. A little bit better. So everyone can see these in a little bit more detail. So these are full-length novels so there's a set of them that are brand new full-length novels. So these are pocketbooks. So you can see it at the top, right? Get a great new painted cover of the Hulk, brand new full-length story, first full-length novel story, Stalker from the Stars. It's a novel by Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, and Joseph Silver, with an introduction by Stan Lee. Far out, who is this creature, Shambhala, who controls the mind and lives of the people of Crater Falls, North Dakota? Shocking. He's not a who, he's a what? A tentacle-waving, electrified weirdo exiled from his own planet. And I've just been picking these up because it's I haven't read these yet, which is interesting. I've been trying to pick as many of them up. I think, from memory, I've got up to 10. So there's certainly a number of these. So you've got an introduction by Stan Lee there, and then the story. You get a few. You don't get pictures per se in these. You just get maybe one or two.
Yeah, like a chapter header sort of thing.
Yeah. So no images whatsoever. But yeah, I just love the covers, and yeah, looking forward to getting in and reading that. But so that one's number one of what they ended up calling the Marvel novel series. So I got number 3. I've got a couple of others on order coming in from the US shortly. And as I say, I'm picking them up whenever I get them. And I just think the covers are interesting. And it's interesting to see who's writing. Like this one is Richard S. Myers, who I've not heard of.
That doesn't ring a bell at all.
So there was some interesting, but mostly it's by the usual suspects at Marvel that have written these stories. But yeah, Cry of the Beast there.
It's funny. It's funny how you start with Hulk and Jason, Mr. SCG, has just popped into the chat as well. Hey, Jace.
Hello, Southern Comic Geek. Great to see you. How you doing?
Hello, Vincent.
And Vincent's here as well. Hello, Vincent. Welcome to the show. Slow starter, but we got there in the end. And then Marvel Novel Series Issue 6, Stan Lee presents Iron Man. And and Call My Killer Modoc. So Modoc's obviously featuring in there, and then written by William Rotsler, who I'd not heard of. But they just, I mean, they're beautiful little things, right? I mean, we are all comic fans, so it's another form where we can absorb and have a brand new story.
Maybe it's the factor that maybe like the well-known comic book writers were more of a helping hand to an actual novel type writer, and that's why we haven't heard of some of these other names. Maybe that was how they did it.
Maybe. I mean, these are the other thing that I like about these. They're all in really good shape. Like me being my grade snob. I don't think they grade these, to be honest. But that some of them, like this one in particular, is really nice looking, as you can see with the corners. And they haven't been cracked open, right? So normally the spines are ruined on these if they've been well read. But I love the cover on this one's great. Look at that with that Nightmare Doctor Strange painted cover. So
yeah, I've not seen none of these I recognize yet. So
yeah,
though I haven't looked at all my books and stuff that I have for quite a long time, but I should recognize the cover when I see it. I know there's quite a few Spidey ones. I know that much.
Well, talking about Spidey, we'll move this to one side. Let's put this.
Oh, he called it. Hank called it. He had crime. Yeah, he had crime campaign with Spidey. He wrote that in the chat way before you showed that.
There you go. Crime campaign with Spidey. With this, I think it doesn't look like it. No, it's not. It's Bob Parkin cover. Bob Parkin painted cover. But yeah, Paul Kupperberg on the novels on story. But yeah, again, look at that cover, right? Absolutely brilliant. And then again, it's a Spidey classic. I'd be interested to see Spidey if there's stuff that do you collect these adjacent things?
I have a lot of odds and ends of this sort of stuff. And that's what sort of like a lot of kids even with just comics. You buy, like, some people are not very focused when they're younger. They just buy random issues of random stuff that looks cool or whatever when you're young, and then you branch out. So I have a lot of like trade paperbacks and like, Marvel Encyclopedia stuff, and then like novels and like all this weird, wacky sort of stuff that you just happen to come across and go, that looks cool, I'll just buy it. Yeah. And that's how you end up collecting some of these sort of peripheral sort of things. Yeah,
exactly. Hank makes a really good point, and this has been part of the collecting campaign with this as well. Is you don't really find them in good condition. I actually found them at Yarraville, which is what got me onto them. So some guy had a selection of these that were in bad shape, and I was like, I need to go and see if I can dig these out somewhere, and managed to find them. And it's actually interesting because I'm going to do a video on the latest Yarraville, where I went to yesterday, and saw two things. One I bought, the other thing I haven't bought because I'm going to try and find it in the wild. But it's great for finding obscure things, and then I go down the rabbit hole and try and find more of those obscure things in high grade. Because the problem was one of those things I didn't want to buy because it was not high grade enough, and I can probably get high grade at the same price I would have paid at Yarraville, if you know what I mean.
It's funny, during the stream, I actually got a message from one of the Facebook comic book guys, Jaden, who was at there saying, I just found a Silver Surfer 1. Do you still need one? And I'm like, just the kindness of people astounds me sometimes. It really does. But anyway.
Avengers, this is Marvel Novel Series number 10. As I say, I think it may have run to, I haven't checked yet, but I think it may have run to issue 12 or Novel Series issue number 12. So this is number 10. So you get Avengers with a David Michelini story, Kang story there, where Man Who Stole Tomorrow.
Very busy cover for a novel too.
It is a very busy cover for a novel. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they, again, beautiful painted cover, and you get the original art that you wouldn't see. I'd be interested in trying to track those down, right, and get the original art for these because they are pretty stunning. And talking of stunning, this great Hulk and Spider-Man Murder Moon cover there. This is number 11. So there's, as I say, another one. This is by Paul Kupperberg again. So Paul Kupperberg did do comics, so I know that, and David Michelini, obviously. So yeah, that's your novel series. So a whole stack of those. But then
I'm gonna have to try and dig out what I have now.
Yeah. Well, perhaps this one's the one that you like. There's 2 sets of these types of books. Now, this one's probably the rarer one. So these are Lancer books, right? And these, I think there's a Thor, Daredevil. There might be a Fantastic Four, but these are from the 60s, I believe. Let me just double check. They should have it in here. Yeah, 1966. 1966 by Lancer, right? And they've got the collector's album from his early great adventures to mighty triumphs of today. He's cool, the Incredible Hulk, the strangest man of all. And it collects the early issues of the Hulk in paperback form.
Oh, it almost looked like a newspaper strip.
So you get, I don't want to crack the spine too much, but I'll just give you a little peek inside. So here's the Incredible Hulk. And then you get a little glimpse there. Collector's album written by the incredible Stan Lee, illustrated by Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby. Here's Hulk in his early desperate days. So you see there. And then you get these early comic strips, right? So they're just repurposing the pattern. I mean, it's not ideal the way that they lay it out, but you get
you have to keep flipping the book up, horizontal, vertical, and.
But there was a number of these that they did. I won't go too much, but it's all reprinted, black and white, so there's no color throughout. But I just thought it's a really interesting way to. Most of it looks like it's landscape, right?
So maybe this is like, because realistically, like trades and omnis and compendiums that were not a thing in the 60s. So maybe this is like prototype of that sort of media form.
Who knows? I know they're experimenting, but this is 1966. But then I don't think they did. I don't think they did it until the 1970s, because then I've got a follow up for you here, which is interesting. So, but yeah, that is what's great as well. Is you get, this is the thing that I really like. I'm trying not to open this too far, but what you get is you get a little. I'm trying to get that in the light. Marvel Masterwork pin-up, but then you get "Don't live in a cultural wasteland." Can you see that?
Yeah, just sort of can see a lot of the different character headers there.
Yeah, all the character headers. Latch onto these superhero spectaculars today. So great little ads as well that you get in these. So that's that one. That one's really cool. Those are tough to track down, and particularly like that for that age and that book, that's in still decent shape. So I'm trying to track those ones down. And then on top of that, in the 70s, they had I think this is 1970. Let me just double check. 1979. Yeah, there you go. And in 1979, you get the Marvel Comics series, right?
That looks like a Trimpy Hulk.
Well, I think that's a John Romita, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then, but you get issue 1 through to 6 complete and unabridged. So you get the full first 6 issues. And I don't know if you can see. Let me just do it this way. So you get full color throughout on this. So you get an intro by Stanley again. You get the first full cover, and then they've just literally reprinted the entire first 6 issues. in full color.
And if you don't need glasses to read it, you will now.
You will. It's absolutely tiny, but you still get it, right? So this is a great way to collect the first 6 issues.
Yeah, especially that number 1.
Yeah. And then we get a nice little epilogue by Stan at the end. So those sort of came along. So you don't get the first 6 issues. You get some of his early issues in this Incredible Hulk. But this one is really good. But they didn't just stop there. You then went to issue 2 of the Marvel comic series, which again is the Hulk star of the TV show. Complete classics, complete and unabridged. So there we have more of the same, volume 2. And then you get...
so this would be like from like 102 upwards or whatever it is.
Yeah, something like that. And it's more of the Jon Buscema stories. So, and there's a bit of... What's that one? Some of those... Actually, it's Tales to Astonish. Because there is
Abomination.
Abomination.
So that'd be around Tales to Astonish 90, issue 90 or so.
91. But yeah, just incredible, like beautiful, and reprinted in full color. You get nice pinups at the back, as you can see here.
Yeah, the color's really popping.
Yeah, they're really, really beautiful. And as I say, it's a shame I can't crack them open too wide because as I say, you don't want to ruin the spine. I'll move some of these out of the way so that we can have a bit more room. So that's that one. But there's one for you here, which you'll like. So the Spider-Man issue 1 through 6.
Issue 1 through 6, and yet it's got Electro on the cover.
Yep. Terrible Tinkerer, Doctor Doom, the Sandman, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard. Prologue by Stan himself. You get a nice, Amazing Fantasy 15 cover there. So you get Amazing Fantasy 15 in here as well.
Which is only basically a short story in there anyway.
Part 2. And then you get your issue 1. Yeah, you get your issue 1. All the way through to issue 6. But just, there's the Lizard.
Yeah, which is issue 6. Yeah.
I wonder
you think they would... I know, like, obviously these came out later than the comics, but you would think they'd sort of make sure the cover matched what was on the internals, like, because Electro doesn't come out till issue 9, so it's kind of weird that they did that. But
yeah, it's fascinating. We'll go back to the comments because there's a couple of interesting ones. Some comments. Hank, love that you're featuring these, mate. They're so good, and I'm just cracked the top of it, so you'll be impressed with some of the stuff that's coming. The odds and ends are the fun part of a hobby and usually an inexpensive part. Actually, right, this is the thing. These have not been too expensive this time around. What's interesting is that some of the stuff that I've been collecting, someone was talking to me yesterday and saying that, the prices of stuff, like the collector kits, I bought mine for $200, I think. Then people are asking $1,200 for them. So it's almost like they get found and then people start charging silly amounts of money.
It's the same like what Bo says with the Omnis. Like, as soon as they come out of print, like anything, and they become popular, then you can charge whatever you want for them almost.
Yeah. What's this one? These Lancers fascinated me as a youngster. Pocket also had a similar line called Marvel Comic Series. Hank is way ahead of everybody with this. Which printed floppies intact. There you go, which is what we're showing off now. So, yeah, great. Again, you can get this Marvel Comic Series. You get your issues 1 to 6 of both Spider-Man and Hulk. So it's a fascinating little piece of the world there. So that's Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1. Have you disappeared, Spidey? You just
I'm still
issue 14. So what's interesting is issue 2. Whether that's volume 3 of Spider, I think that's volume 3 of Spider-Man. Yes. So obviously, I missed out on issue 7. There's a volume 2, which would cover issue 7 through to 13. But volume 3 of Spider-Man gets issue 14 through 20 complete and unabridged.
And then the cover is like issue 39.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite interesting how they've done
but I can see why, because they've got Green Goblin on the first lead story.
And realistically, issue 14's front cover is not a great cover but hey, Jonko.
And you get your beautiful little pin up at the back. But just as I say, the colours on these are pretty darn good. It's just a nice way to be able to read them. And it's beats your omnibus in my mind. Like, you get this for like what? Like at the time, how much were they? Let's have a look. Doesn't really say, does it?
I'd say probably $5 or $10 or something.
Minimum anyway, right? So, and then you get the first 6 issues. So yeah, this is a more interesting way in my mind to read Omnis. And Marvel Illustrated Books is the next one, which I don't know where this one came from. So this is another one of Spider-Man's greatest team-ups. And again, great painted cover.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, Marvel Illustrated Books. $2.50 at the time. You could pick this one up. This is not in the best of shapes. I mean, it's not ditched, but you get to see a wondrous team-up battle with Doctor Strange, the Speedster and the Spider, Quicksilver, and the Incredible Hulk. And then a new painted cover on the front to show that off. And then again, beautifully colored and illustrated. So you get this one's slightly more interesting because you're not getting the full page. They've actually broken the story down. So this is very similar to the Bantam books.
So yeah, that's quite discombobulated.
Yeah, very, very interesting the way that they've done this one. So you get that Quicksilver there, and then we'll obviously have the Hulk at the end. Or no, Doctor Strange with Spidey. So yeah, a bit of a mix of, and then last of all, you've got the Hulk story, and again they split out the panels so you can have a bit extra space to read your book. But I just think that's again another interesting, it's a slightly different to that Marvel comic series. So there's a whole bunch of these different types of books. So you can see the tanning on that. Look at that.
Yeah, you could say that's been sitting around a bookshelf for a while.
Yeah. But it's lovely. It's lovely to pick these up. So that's that one. Then we move on to our friend Captain America. Cap's Greatest Adventures, complete and unabridged. This, I think, is an interesting one. I don't think you get, because there's no real number ones with Cap, right? So yeah, here we go. What you do get is you get Avengers number 4, first Silver Age appearance of Cap. And then you get a
Tales to Astonish, possibly. Tales to Suspense.
Yeah. So I think there's the a few Tales of Suspense stories. Yeah, because there's Baron Zemo there. So yeah, an interesting one. You get a great set of Cap stories to flick through and enjoy. And I prefer this format where you get the whole book. Yes, it's small, but I'm quite happy. I'd be quite happy with that because
it's probably a little bit easier to follow, but just have to have really good eyesight or good glasses.
So that's that one, and then I'm not sure, but I need to do a bit of digging on these Marvel Illustrated. So that's the Marvel comic series. But then there was also a Marvel Illustrated book that went with it as well. And this is Captain America Battles Baron Blood. Now, this is the John Byrne part, Roger Stern, John Byrne part of the run.
Back to black and white again.
Back to black and white again. But a beautiful. I love this story, and then they've repurposed it again in that new format, in that sort of abridged format. But just great to see. Look at that John Byrne art there of Cap.
That's gorgeous.
That run, that part of the run, Roger Stern and John Byrne was fantastic. It's a shame it had to finish. And again, I would have done that on the side like this. But you get that great picture of the Invaders and Union Jack and Spitfire, etc. But yeah, black and white in this one. There's your man Baron Blood there. Interesting images. But yeah, I love that, and great to be able to pick that one up. It's a shame that's not in full color. I'm surprised that's not in full color, given that this one is. So yeah, but still, nonetheless, good one to pick up. Leave some space again. Let's leave Cap there for the time being.
So, what is it? Captain UK is saying they are doing something similar now. They are a little larger. I think they are the Mighty Marvel Masterworks. Okay.
Let's have a look. They're doing something similar now, a little larger than Mighty Marvel Masters. Oh, are those the hardback ones? I think they're the hardback ones. So yeah, Chonko's here as well. I didn't say hello to Chonko, but you did. Say, hey Chonko, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I haven't seen those. I've got a number of those hardback ones that came out. Do you remember those?
Vaguely.
So yeah, I've been picking those up, but not super. I don't think there's anything paper, unless there are paperback ones. I've not seen paperback ones of this size. I just think this is a nice little way of reading it, right? Like you can carry it around. They should redo it. So there you have it, Doctor Strange, all in full color. This is the comic series again, so you're going to get full color, great stories. So you get the first Doctor Strange there.
So some Strange Tales goodness.
Yep. And so a whole host of Strange Tales.
Yeah, because he was in Strange Tales for a while.
Yeah.
Before he went to his own title.
And then you get what do you get here? You get a nice pin-up Doctor Strange at the back with clear.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Prophecies by the Rooney Rings of Ragnar by Agamotto's shimmering light. The spells of Doctor Strange now saw. Evil shall be crushed this night. Prophecies of the Ancient One. So that's that. We've also got another set of the comic series, issue 2 of the comic series with Doctor Strange. Look at that cover, though. Great one. And yeah, you get more of the same sort of Strange Tales. There we go. This volume contains the complete Doctor Strange epic, originally presented in Strange Tales 130 through 144. Cover art by Dave Cockrum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, as I say, you get your good helping of
Mordor, Dormammu.
You get the odd pin-up in there as well.
Well, by that time in Strange Tales, a lot of his main adversaries had already had their first appearances. So
yeah, nice little one.
Look at that. Yeah, that's nice.
Not sure who's that. It looks like a Brunner, actually. Frank Brunner.
Yeah, but Brunner didn't come till they restarted, till they did volume 2 Doctor Strange.
This one's one that I'm not normally a big fan of, but these I couldn't turn on because I'm not going to be picking up. I'm not going to get an issue 1 of Conan, but you get the first 3 adventures with a preface. So again, it's using the Marvel Comic Series, but it's not under the Marvel Comic Series banner, but essentially it's the same thing. So you get preface by Stan Lee, introduction by Roy Thomas, and then basically a reprint of the classic Roy Thomas, Barry Windsor Smith first issue. broken down into its component parts. So it's like a bit of a hybrid. So not the full page, but you do get full color. So, yeah, that's a good one to add in. And I think there's a number of these Conan ones. Let's just see. Don't miss volume 2 on sale now. So there's your issue 1, and then I do have issue 2 of this as well. So that one is. Let's have a look at the cover of that. So you've lost the painted covers though in this instance, right?
Yeah.
Roy Thomas introduction. There's your map of the Hyborian Age of Conan. And then again, 3 issues represented.
Some pages look better than other. Like, you look at the one on the left, it looks great. Look, one on the right, there's so much blank space.
Exactly.
It's a bit off-putting at certain points.
Yes. And you get volume 3 as well. So I don't have volume 3, but volume 1 and 2. But I thought, again, great to show these off. And wanted to share this. So so we've got novels, we've got comics represent. Then on top of that, and this is the thumbnail that I found. And these books I actually got these in Australia. Off eBay actually. And I didn't even know these existed. So these are Marvel Superheroes TSR game books. So slightly bigger than your normal title, right? But essentially, the way these are meant to be played is that in this one, you're Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom. So you play it like a proper adventure, right? But you play it from the side of the Fantastic Four, and then the other player plays as Doctor Doom, but you read at the same time. Now, I haven't tried this, but you do have a full set of rules. You've got combat tables on the back for both. But it's almost like a choose your own adventure, one-on-one adventure for 2 players. So I thought that was interesting, especially when you think Doomsday's coming, and this is the Doomsday device storyline.
But how annoyed would you be, though, if you could only find one and not the other?
I know. Well, this is the question. I'd be interested to know if they were actually sold individually. I can't imagine. I would imagine they would have come together. But yeah, an interesting one for sure. And I'd not seen it. And I saw a piece on the when I was looking for the artwork for the thumbnail. The original artist that did the cover for this, he was a little disappointed. He'd done this amazing piece of the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom all in one go, and then they cut it up and put it onto a little tiny pocketbook. He was like, "Oh, I'm not really happy about that." So yeah, but that's an interesting one, right? Like,
I have never even heard of these, let alone seen them.
Yeah, so it's absolutely funny. Oh, we've got a little bit of no. Conan 3 is a very rare low distribution on that paperback, so I have to try and dig that one out. No wonder I haven't got number 3. And then I'm missing number 1, which was a Spider-Man one. But these are Marvel Superheroes game books, and I love these. These are so cute. I got these from a UK auction, but they're essentially TSR. I think they're TSR. Or no, they're Penguin books, but they're choose your own adventure type books, right? So very similar to Fighting Fantasy, if you recall that.
And I think most kids, most kids that did any kind of reading at all came across choose your own adventure books at some point in their life.
Yeah, and so you can see here your first chapter. Turn to 132. If you decline Wasp's offer, seek the source of your concern now. Turn to 132. If you want to accept Wasp's challenge, turn to 152. But I like the fact that at the front you get this. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's a bit glary.
It's a bit brick white, right?
Yeah, because I was going to say all these books are like tanny, but that's really bright white. Yeah, that's a bit better.
So that's like a tear off bookmark with Cap's stats on it. So you keep track as you go through the story, and you get the odd picture in there.
I was lucky you found one that it didn't have hadn't been torn out.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. So all of these, I think, still have the original. We'll go through them anyway. But yeah, these are very cool. And again, painted covers on the front, brand new painted covers.
You've muted your camera too. Just your personal one, not the other one.
Oh, just give me 1 second. Can you hear me? So that's
okay. I can see you still hear you fine.
You still hear me. We'll go with that. We'll see how we go. Might turn. Let me just get 1 second. There's Doctor Strange, and there's his book as well. So yeah, that's still in there. And again, these were published by Penguin, so very interesting.
So when were these done? Were these 70s, 80s?
1986.
1980s, okay.
So, beautiful artwork. I mean, look at that. That's I'm trying to work out who the artist is, because that's pretty good. Illustrated by Bart Sears and Mark Nelson.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Like Eye of Agamotto. Great stuff. Yeah, beautiful little pieces of art there. And then there's one for all the mutant lovers out there. We've got issue Night of the Wolverine.
Oh, nice.
Great paint. That one I know came from a TSR game cover, so they've obviously reused that artwork. But once again, you get your Wolverine stats. Let me see if I can just turn this camera back on quickly, Spidey.
Yeah, so I've never seen this last few books. Sarcastic. Thanks for making me want them. SCG. I love choose your own adventure books. Yeah. We always. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sort of anybody that's sort of, I'd say in their mid-30s to onwards would have at least come across choose your own adventures when they were a kid.
Yeah, and there I'm back. There you go. Yeah, battery died again. I love these. What's this? I've never seen the last few books. Sarcastic. Thanks for making me want them. No, nor had I when I came across them. So now I definitely want them. I'm missing the first one, which is there's a Spidey story on the first one. I love to choose your own adventure books. All right, next.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to figure out what I've got now.
Yeah. Then you got The Thing versus The Thing, one thing after another, by Warren Spector.
This is probably the 2-in-1 stuff. Or it looks like a 2-in-1.
This is still these choose your own adventure stories.
Oh, I mean the cover more than anything else.
Oh, maybe, but that looks like an original cover, like a new one. They get The Thing holding. I don't know, he's holding someone there. And whether it's himself. Who's the artist on this one? Let's have a look. Illustrated by Mike Macklin. And let's have a look. It's clobbering time. And there's a nice one of the Human Torch and Thing. Yep, not too much. Oh, there you go. There's a bit of Watcher action there, and Thing versus Thing there. So yeah, that's number 5. Got 2 more to go, Spidey, and then. So yeah, this is the depths of my pocketbook collection at the moment. I'm getting some more coming through the next few weeks, but wanted to share these. So this is the Spider-Man As the World Burns, written by Peter David.
Oh, nice.
Who no longer is with us, sadly. And again, look at that. Great.
Oh, wow.
Who's the artist on this? Let's just double check that. John Statmer and Mark Nelson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Spidey for Prez. Not bad little illustrations of Spidey there, or Peter Parker. Let's have a look. Yep. So yeah, as I say, that's the Spidey one, and then to finish us out, Uncanny X-Men and
Oh, nice.
by Kate Novak, Gamebook 7. Now, I think this might be the last one in the series. And you look at that stat card. You've got 4. You got Rogue, Logan, Nightcrawler, and Storm. A little bit complicated, that one. And it's illustrated by John Statmer and Mark L. Nelson. So looks like new art specifically for this story. But yeah, these are, as I say, I just wanted to share these with everyone because I hadn't sort of these I hadn't come across.
You found a rabbit hole and now you're sharing it.
Nah, exactly. I found a rabbit hole and had to share it with everyone because these are fun little things. And again, I love digging around and finding these strange new things that people may or not have seen. All right, mate. Well, I will go and enjoy the rest of the day off. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show and talking through that. Maybe next time you go and dig out the ones that you've got hidden away. And tell
because none of those look like the ones I have. So now I'm curious to know what the actual hell I have.
Yeah.
So I have so many, like, once again, when you're collecting at certain points, you just buy random stuff sometimes because it's cheap or it's cool or whatever. I have a mountain of books sitting on top of my cupboard that I'm like, I have no idea what to do with. And I'm like, I might have to dig through it and actually see what I have.
Yeah.
So, but none of them look like those. So yeah, now I'm curious what I have.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you get. What's on with the channel, my friend?
I should have, like, obviously I'll do my standard sort of statues and art and things like that. I should have some Mad Mail calls coming up, hopefully this week, if not early next week. I've got some stuff for some runs that I am after, and a couple of key books, and I bought another slab.
Getting ready for your.
Getting ready for only slabs, which is not this weekend, the following weekend that I will be on Mr. Rob Fatstack's only slabs, and I'll be showing everything that I have because that's the requirement to get on the show.
I will put that in the link in the description post of the show so that everyone gets to head over there and check it out. So.
I promise, Rob, I won't do anything crazy on the show. I will be showing the books. I will not be doing anything. If you know me, you'll know why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So,
all right, mate. Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I am going to be I've got a video coming out this week on basically the Marvel Star Wars run. And I did
see the thumbnail pop up for that.
Yeah, why it saved Marvel. So interesting. If you're into your Marvel Star Wars, check out that video, and then we'll be back next week. So I will be back next week, and I will probably be doing it an hour earlier than I would normally do. So rather than 7:30 a.m., we will be doing the show at 6:30 a.m. So a little bit earlier in the day for just that week. Because I have to be in an appointment later in the day, so I need to move it forward. But yes, join us next week, 6:30 a.m. for more of these weird and wonderful hauls. And we will see you all very soon. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.